Hey there, day 189 of life according to YoBo. I can honestly say I am living a blessed life. A few days away from my 57th birthday. I shared with you all on yesterday. Sister girl here was ready to throw in the towel 10 years ago. Not throwing the towel on my parents, not throwing the towel on my husband, not throwing the towel on my children, not throwing in the towel on my job, honey. Throwing in the towel on life. I told you all in the previous video that when our friend at church, Carla Potts, had passed away, I believe she was age 46, and we are exactly 3 months apart. She was born July 6th. I was born October 6th, the same year. And at her funeral, well, first of all, it came as such a shock when she passed away. But at her funeral, I remember walking past the casket, and I stood there for a few seconds, and I envied her. I just looked at the and I envied her. If I would have had the opportunity to trade places with her, right then and there, child, I would have taken it. Well, what about my husband back at home? And what about my daddy? And what about my son? And my daughter? And my children? And my grandchildren? And my godchildren? And what about that? Honey, if I could have traded places with her right then and right there, I would have. You know what? I understand suicide. I understand the reason people commit suicide. They just want to stop hurting. I'm not condoning suicide. I'm not urging anybody to commit suicide. I'm just saying I understand the reasoning behind it. And oftentimes, what happens when people commit suicide? We look back on it, we say, I had no idea that she was going through whatever it was she was going through. And this was a situation that I was good at masking it, and I was good at hiding it. Nobody really knew. There's only one person in this whole wide world who knew, and that was Victoria Jean Brown Johnson Johnson Latham Johnson. She was the only one who knew. I talked to one person only. You know, if that's you, you feeling as though life has just kicked you and you've gone down so far to where you can't get up, find one person to talk to. But the man, don't talk to nobody crazy, okay? Now, I wasn't crazy. I was already low. I don't need to talk to anybody low. I need to talk to someone who's going to encourage me. Because first of all, as I told you all in the previous message from yesterday, day 188's message, something on the inside would always say, I'm not going out like that. And the amazing thing is, when I look back on it, I would say those words aloud. They would just come from out of me. I ain't going out like that. Nothing had changed. I might have been crying 10 minutes later. But from time to time throughout the day, I would say, I ain't going out like that. I ain't going out like that. I know, yeah, I'm not going out like this. I'm not going out like this. My husband was laid off work recently. And during the 8 weeks off, we just decided that if he never did get a job, we were at least going to eat. So he planted a garden in the backyard. He planted some mustard greens, collard greens, turnip greens, and kale. A few days ago, I went out, had some leaves of good size, and I picked some of those greens, and ooh, you talking about something that was show enough good. Man. Now I know why my daddy's greens tasted so good, because he got them out the garden. But getting back to these greens, I was telling my son how I picked the leaf. He said, now, Mommy, he said, in a month from now, the greens are going to triple in size, because for every stem that you remove, you're going to get about 2, 3, 4 new sprouts in that spot. I said, oh, okay. And I don't know nothing about gardening because I'm scared of bugs. So I was telling my sister about it this morning, what he has said. She said, yes. She said, let me explain it to you from a scientific perspective. She says, when you remove the stem, the plant goes into shock or into stress. And so it gets extra nutrients going up to that part where you remove the stalk, because the plant just knows that it has experienced some trauma. And because the extra nutrients are being sent to that area, you experience the extra growth. Y'all see where I'm going? Anytime you have been broken, whoo, extra strength, extra nutrients goes to that area. Anytime you have been broken, only one thing happens: extra growth. My sister said that don't have nothing to do with Jesus. That's just the way it's designed. She said the same thing is true mentally, the same thing is true spiritually, the same thing is true emotionally. When you have been broken, you can expect extra growth. That's why Marvin Sapp said, I never would have made it. But when he looked back, he could say, I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better. In fact, I'm much better. Baby, if that's you, and you feel like you just can't make it, you feel as though you just can't take it, been there, done that 10 years ago. How you like me now? If you would have told me I'd be sitting in this chair, if somebody would have told me 10 years ago that I would be sitting in this chair talking about that experience to encourage somebody else, you may as well told me the moon was made out of green cheese. You may as well told me that Facebook was going to start charging $5.99 to keep my page private. You may as well told me that the cow jumped over the moon. Wouldn't have believed you. Look at here. 7 minutes. Way over 7 minutes. You ain't going out like that, baby. You ain't going out like that. KeepItMoving.com. Life according to YoBo.